Qingyun High School's campus is always very popular in the early morning, with students shuttled through the teaching building in groups, laughter and quarrel mixed together. The sun shines through the branches of the sycamore tree on the ground, reflecting a patch of light and shadow. However, for Barum, this light and shadow have never warmed him up. He lowered his head, rolled his old bookcase, and shrank his shoulders as much as possible to avoid attracting anyone's attention. "Hey, Wuchai Bohan, have you copied your work today?" A harsh voice came from behind, and there were a few sneers. Bohan didn't have to look back and knew that it was the boss in the class who were looking for trouble. He clenched his teeth, his feet accelerated, and pretended not to hear him. "Hey, where's the dress?" A tall boy quickly caught up with him, grabbed Bohan's bag, and pulled him back. Bohan stumbled and almost fell down, attracting more laughter around him. "Don't, stop talking. I didn't copy the work, I wrote it myself," Bohan said in a low voice, with a trembling sound. He knew that resistance would only make things worse, but the affliction in his heart was like a group of fire, which made his chest hurt. "Writing by yourself? What kind of thing can you write in your brain?" The tall boy sneered and threw Bohan's book bag on the ground with his hands, and the books inside were scattered all over the ground. The students who were watching burst into laughter. No one came forward to help, and some even took out their phones to take videos. Bohan squatted down, silently scattered books, and his fingers turned slightly white due to force. He told himself that he would have endured it, and he had already been polite from junior high school to now. But at this moment, a familiar figure rushed over. "Hey, are you finished? It's fun to bully people, right?" Yuzei's voice was loud and full of anger. He pushed the tall boy off and stood in front of Baran, holding him like a wall. Yuzei's head is not very tall, but his tendon and the awkward head are not afraid to be careless. Yuzei is a hero again? Why, Wu Chai's friend is only worthy of being a reckless man." The tall boy sneered, and several followers around him also came up, and the atmosphere was arguing for a while. "Try it, see who will fall down first." Yuzei clenched his fists, and fire broke out in his eyes. "It's over, Rainy, stop being over." Bohan finally opened his mouth, his voice calmly. He grabbed Yuzei's arm and slammed his head. "It's not worth it." Yuzei glared at the other party unwillingly, and finally withdrew his fist, helped Bohan pick up the last few books, and said in a low voice, "All these guys, get rid of them sooner or later." Bohan didn't say anything, but just followed Yuzei to the classroom silently. It seemed like a big stone was pressing down in my heart, heavy. He knew that Yuzei was the only friend who was willing to give him a shot, but this protection made him feel even more incompetent. He wanted to stand up straight one day without having to lower his head or swallow his voice. During the lunch break, Bohan and Yuzei sat in a corner of the backyard of the campus, eating simply. This is their secret base, far away from the crowd, and no one will come to fight. "Brother Han, I really don't understand why you endure it. Let's fight that guy, they won't dare to slap them again." Yuzei took a bite of the bread, his face full of dissatisfaction. Bohan smiled bitterly and shook his head. "What can I do if I fight? They are so crowded, and there are also a group behind them. We don't have backgrounds, but we can't fight them." "Social group." Yuzei curled his lips, and there was a trace of disdain in his eyes. "Isn't it just a group of people holding a group to bully the negative people? Qingyun High School's group is the help of Xiao Hei in the campus. Who has the final say?" Bohan looked down at the one in his hand and did not answer. He knew that Yuzei was right. The social culture of Qingyun High School was deeply rooted, and students, basketball clubs, street dance groups. Each group has its own ground plate and strength. People like them don't have the qualifications to join the group, let alone change what they have changed. At this moment, a strange electronic sound suddenly rose in Baran's brain, and the chopsticks in his hand almost fell off. Ding! The host's intention to strongly change his fate was detected, and the social constitutional system was officially launched. "Do you accept the defense?" Bohan was stunned and looked around, but he didn't realize anything unusual. Yuzei saw his strange expression and couldn't help asking, "What's wrong? Are there cysts in the food? No. It's okay. Bohan smiled hard, his heart turbulently. What's going on with this sound? System? Default? Is this difficult to say, the golden finger in the tradition? Ding! Please make an option within 10 seconds, otherwise the system will automatically unprotect. 10, 9, 8. Bohan gritted his teeth and silently said in his heart, accept. Ding! Decided to be successful. Host, Bohan. Current social impact, 0. System goal, create and establish the strongest group of Qingyun High School, change the host's fate. Initial mission release, create a group of your own, recruit at least 3 members, mission term, 7 days. Mission awards, influence +10, personal charm +5, elementary organization skills unlocked. Bohan was stunned when he heard this, and a transparent light curtain appeared in the sea of his brain, showing the details of his mission and his personal attributes. Although he didn't know how to do this thing, a lot of hope ignited in his heart. If this system is true, does he finally have the chance to change everything? Use A, if. What do you think we will create a group by ourselves? Bohan tried to ask, his eyes flashing. Yuze was stunned and immediately laughed. Brother Han, are you kidding? With this condition, who will be with us? Besides, the establishment of a society must have venues and funds, and it must be approved by the student association, which is difficult to reach the sky. Try to see the house. Bohan said softly, with an unprecedented determination in his temperament. I have suffered from being trampled under my feet. If there is even a little chance, I want to catch it. Yuze looked at Bohan's eyes, stunned for a few seconds, and finally said a little, okay. Since you have said this, I Yuze will do my best. At worst, I will be laughed for a few days, let's go crazy together. After school in the afternoon, Bohan and Yuze discussed the community affairs in the corner of the back row of the classroom. They decided to start with their classmates first and try to get a few people together. But they were quickly given a blow. Almost all the people who were asked should be rejected directly and said in a mocking manner, "You are the only one? Let's save money, don't lose sight of others." Brother Han, these people are really ignorant. Why don't we just find a few people around us and let's waste them? Yuze said in a whisper. Bohan slams his head, and the system's mission requirements appear in the sea of brain. He believed that the quality of a society was more important than the quantity. If you just attract people by chance, your influence will not come. He has to do something so that others can see their potential. Ding! Detecting the host's dilemma, the branch mission was released. Organize a small event on campus, attracting at least 10 people to participate, and displaying organizational ability. Mission award, influence +5, primary leader's leadership unlock. The sound of the system sounded again, making Bohan's eyes lit up. Activity. Bohan murmured, his brain moving at a rapid speed. Most students at Qingyun High School are not interested in social activities unless there are any particularly attractive points. He suddenly thought that someone in the class a few days ago complained that the lunch break was too boring and there was always no place to go. Yuze, what's the way we have a small table party? Borrow an empty classroom and set up a simple table tour so that everyone can have a place to play during lunch break. Bohan came up with his idea, and his language was filled with a thrill. Yuze's eyes lit up, this idea is good. Many people like table games, but no one has ever organized them in the school. If we can do it, it will definitely be attractive. They said they were fucked, and the two of them paid a little pocket money that night, bought a few sets of simple table game cards, wrote a few publicity posters, and prepared to post them on the campus notice column the next day. At noon the next day, Bohan and Yuze were sweating heavily in the empty classroom they borrowed. They put the tables together, put the cards in hand, and prepared some free snacks. Although the layout was very simple, Bohan was still a little excited when he looked at his own achievements. Brother Han, have you all come? Yuze looked into the door, looking a little tight. Don't worry, I'll probably have a good time after posting the post. Bohan said that he was not anxious, and he was also nervous. He didn't know if anyone would come. If this event failed, not only would the task not be completed, but they would also become a laughing stock in the whole school. After more than 10 minutes, a few curious students finally appeared at the door. They looked at it with their heads and brains, and they saw that it was organized by Bohan and Yujay, with a clear look of suspicion on their faces. "What is this? Table game? Who will come to play what you made?" A boy sneered, his temperament full of disdain. Several people next to him also started to make excitement, and the atmosphere was a little awkward for a while. Bohan felt nervous, but on the surface he was firm, and said with a smile, "How can you know if it's fun if you don't try it? We have prepared the latest card game, and there are snacks, which are free. Come on, it doesn't matter if you win, just be happy." His language was peaceful and honest, which made several people who were making excitement stunned for a moment. Finally, a boy wearing a glass walked in first. "Okay, anyway, it's also free to play, let's have a game." With the first person, several more people came from behind. In less than half an hour, more than a dozen people were sitting in the classroom, laughter and controversy one after another. Bohan and Yuza were busy maintaining order and explaining rules. Although they were tired and sweating heavily, their hearts were filled with a sense of accomplishment. Ding! The branch mission is completed. Influence +5, the primary leader's leadership is unlocked. Current influence, 5, the system's prompt sound made Bohan excited, but he didn't expect the effect to be so good. At this moment, the boy who had just started to make fun of him left and patted Bohan on the shoulder. "Hey, I didn't expect you to be here." Bohan, I have a lot of ideas. This activity is good, I'll mess with me in the future." Bohan smiled and pointed, "Okay, welcome anytime." Although this sentence is simple, it makes Bohan feel warm. He knew that this was just the beginning, but at least, he was no longer the wastewood that would only be low. After the event, 3 students from all sides offered to join their community. Although there were not many people, this was the first step for Barum. In the evening, Bohan and Yuza were walking in the campus, discussing the next plan. The night wind blows over, bringing a sense of turmoil, and the campus rooftop looks particularly mysterious under the moonlight. "Have you heard the news about the rooftop?" Yuzay suddenly asked, with a hint of curiosity in his eyes. "What's the story?" Bohan was stunned. "Say, there is a secret base that has been forgotten on the rooftop, and there are secrets that can change the campus pattern. Some say it is a treasure left by the forbidden area of a certain society, but it is mysterious anyway." Yuzay's voice was low, and his language was filled with excitement. Bohan heard it and looked at the rooftop away, and a desire to explore ignited in his heart. If such a secret really exists, it may help him rise faster. He clenched his fists tightly and made up his mind, one day, he would reveal the gang of the rooftops by himself. The number of words in this chapter, about 3,800 words. After a few days, the community of Bohan and Yuza finally had a shady shape. From the last table game, they successfully attracted 3 members. Although there were not many people, they were at least officially started. The society was temporarily named Qingyun Club, which means that they are like a group of faint flames that will one day burn the entire Qingyun High School. The 3 new members are Lin Xiang, a slut-wearing bookworm, Zhang Xiaofeng, a hot-hearted sportsman, and Li Jingyi, a taciturn but strong handicraftsmanship. However, the group was just established and problems followed one after another. After school this day, Bohan summoned everyone to an old place in the backyard to prepare for discussion of the next activity plan. But just after opening the mouth, the atmosphere is a little uneven. "Bohan, let me be honest, what is the future of our society? I think the table game is quite interesting, but now I get together to chat every day and waste time." Zhang Xiaofeng leaned on the tree, holding his hands in his chest, and his words were full of impatience. He is tall and usually has a thorn in class, and he never speaks mercilessly. Lin Xiang pushed his eyes and answered in a low voice, "I don't want to say anything, but Xiao Feng said it right. The society must have something practical, right? For example, organizing a point competition or doing something intentional, otherwise I might as well write questions at home." Although Li Jingyi did not open her mouth, she lowered her head and her fingers were lying on the corner of her clothes. She obviously had thoughts in her heart, but she didn't say it. When Bohan heard these words, he felt like a basin of cold water was poured in his heart. He knew that everyone's dissatisfaction was not a matter of no reason. After all, the community started, without resources and venues, and even a similar event could not be organized. But he didn't expect that the conflict would explode so quickly. "Don't worry, everyone, we've just started, we've always got to go step by step." Bohan tried to calm down, with a weak voice in his language. "Yuza and I are thinking of a way, and there will be a new event soon. Come step by step? When will you have to wait?" Zhang Xiaofeng sneered, "I don't have the patience to wait for you to come slowly. Otherwise, what good can this group give us? Otherwise, I'll just step back to save time." As soon as this came out, the atmosphere froze. Although Lin Xiang and Li Jingyi did not express their feelings, their eyes clearly showed signs of hesitation. Bohan felt a tight heart, and for the first time he felt the pressure on his shoulders so much. He knew that if the treatment was not done well at this time, Qingyun might really be dispersed. At this moment, Yuzhe stood up and stared at Zhang Xiaofeng with a bright face. "Xiaofeng, what do you mean? Brother Han stays up late every day and wants to find some things and recruit people to do activities. If you don't help, just let it go, and you are still shattering this place? If you have the ability, you can set up a group yourself, don't be here to mess around." Zhang Xiaofeng was so angry that he stood up straight. "Yuzhe, don't do this. I'm saying that if the community doesn't work, it's not possible. What can't be said?" Seeing that the two of them were about to start arguing, Bohan hurriedly inserted into the middle and said in a low voice, "Don't make a noise." Xiao Feng said it was right. "The community has no success now, because I am not capable. But I promise that if I give me some time, I will definitely make Qingyun a place that everyone is proud of. If you believe me, give me another chance." His words were calm, and his eyes were straight at everyone. Zhang Xiaofeng hummed, said nothing, and turned around and looked at him. Lin Xiang and Li Jingyi looked at each other and finally got a little head. "Okay, I'll take a look," Lin Xiang said in a low voice, "but I hope there will be some practical plan next time the party." After the meeting, Bohan and Yuzhe walked shoulder to shoulder on the campus path. The night was getting thick and the shadows of the two were pulled by the lights. "Brother Han, I'm really impressed. If you hadn't been stable, I guess that guy Xiaofeng would have really retreated." Yuzhe slapped his head, and he was afraid of his words. Bohan smiled bitterly and slammed his head, "Still is stable, but the problem is not solved. It is a fact that Xiaofeng and the others are not as attractive as the society, and they cannot retain people. I have to think about ways to let everyone see hope." At this moment, the system sound in the brain suddenly sounded, "Ding." I detected internal conflicts in the society, and urgent tasks were released: enhance social cohesion, organize a team cooperation activity, so that all members can participate and feel the sense of perception. Mission duration, 3 days. Mission reward, influence +10, team collaboration skills unlocked. Bohan's eyes lit up, and a burst of hope ignited in his heart. The system mission is coming at the right time. If everyone can gather through activities, the Qingyun Club will be able to overcome this crisis. The next morning, Bohan and Yuza discussed solutions in the back of the classroom. After thinking for a night, Bohan decided to organize a baby game at the school. The game rules are simple: set some locations in the campus as line points, and the members divide them into groups, and find the final cache through explanations and cooperation. A box of small gifts purchased out of their own pockets by Bohan and Yuza. This activity not only makes everyone motivated, but also cultivates tacit understanding. "Brother Han, this idea is good. Everyone should be interested in explaining the explanations." Yuzhe applauded. "I'll prepare the cable card. You can tell the members that we will start tomorrow afternoon." Bohan clicked on the head and immediately found Zhang Xiaofeng, Lin Xiang and Li Jingyi, and explained the activity plan in detail. Although the three of them were a little suspicious at first, they heard that there were small prizes and were reluctant to participate. On the day of the event, Bohan and Yuza arrived at the backyard of the campus early and arranged the search points. They divided the members into two groups, Zhang Xiaofeng and Li Jingyi, Lin Xiang and Yuze, and Bohan was responsible for the general coordination and issuance prompts. The first line is under the old banyan tree in the backyard. Find the paper and follow the instructions above. Okay, the game begins. After Bohan's order, the two groups of people moved quickly. Although Zhang Xiaofeng was dissatisfied with his words, he was extremely powerful and quickly took Li Jingyi to find the first piece of paper. A simple mathematical question is written on the paper, and the answer points to the next location, the back door of the library. On the other side, Lin Xiang discovered his brain strength, quickly solved the problem, and took Yuze straight to the second line point. Halfway through the event, both groups of people encountered difficulties. The ropes of Zhang Xiaofeng need to be grouped together a broken campus map, while Lin Xiang's ropes need to unravel a task that requires physical fitness, moving several heavy objects to get the rope card. How do you spell this broken map? I can't understand it at all. Zhang Xiaofeng grabbed his hair, his face full of impatience. Li Jingyi lowered her head and studied it for a while, and said lightly, "Let me try it. I usually like to spell pictures." On the other side, Lin Xiang looked at the big stones in front of him, his face turned pale. "Where do you have to move to this? I don't have the energy to do it." Yuze grinned and patted his shoulder. "Don't worry, I'm here. Come on, let's carry it together, and you'll be sure to get it done." As the activity deepened, Bohan was relieved to find that the members began to actively cooperate. Although Zhang Xiaofeng was hot, he would also hear Li Jingyi's suggestions. Although Lin Xiang was not strong enough, Yuze's encouragement made him not give up. When the two groups finally got together and found the Taopang, everyone had smiles on their faces. This game is quite interesting. Zhang Xiaofeng took the gift, a sports ring. Although the mouth was still hard, there was a little more approval in his eyes. Lin Xiang pushed his eyes and pointed, "It's true, it's more fun than I thought." "Bohan, you're good at this." Although Li Jingyi didn't say anything, she took the initiative to help pack up the activity props, and her movements were relaxed. Ding! Mission completed. Influence plus 10, teamwork skills unlocked. Current impact, 15. The system's prompt sound made Bohan's heart excited. However, the good times didn't last long. Just as Qingyun was gradually stabilizing, a bigger storm was approaching. Jun Jie, the core member of the student association, soon noticed Bohan's small community as a wind figure in the campus. Junjie controls the largest social group of Qingyun High School, Thunder Club, and has always been looking at other small groups as the eyes, and no challenger can be allowed to take risks. At noon this day, Bohan and Yuza posted a new event poster before the campus announcement column. Several students wearing Thunder Club uniforms left. The headline was a boy with acne marks named Wang Chang, who was Junjia's capable subordinate. "Yeah, isn't this a waste of banana? I heard that you have set up a small group, how can you lose money?" Wang Chang said and tore off the poster that Bohan had just posted, kneaded it into a group and threw it on the ground with his hands. Yuze saw the situation, his eyes were red, and he clenched his fists and was about to rush up. "You are looking for trouble, right? There are some choices." Bohan grabbed him and said in a low voice, "Don't urge." Then he turned to look at Wang Chang, his lingering voice, "We didn't mess with you, what does it mean to tear the post?" Wang Jing sneered and looked at Bohan up and down. "The meaning is very simple. Brother Junjia doesn't like to see your small group wandering around the campus. I'll give you a piece of advice to disband as soon as possible and don't make trouble for yourself. Otherwise, you can't afford the consequences." After saying that, he took several people and left a piece of paper. Yuze gritted his teeth and said, "Brother Han, this help is too bad. We can't just bear it." Bohan looked at the broken paper on the ground with his head lowered, and his eyes gradually became colder. "Tolerance? Of course not. But head-on battles are not the way now. Thunder will have too much force, so we have to find a smart way to fight back." At this moment, the system sounded again, ding. External threats were detected, and urgent missions were released, they were dismissed during campus activities, won the support of at least 50 students, improved the influence of the society, and fought against the Thunder. Mission deadline, 5 days. Mission award, influence plus 20, unlocked with the primary strategy skills. When Bohan felt aroused, a huge plan appeared in his brain. Qingyun High School will have a school-wide society showcase day next week. Each group will show off its own special activities to attract new students to join. If the Qingyun Club can excel in this event, it will not only improve its impact, but also directly hit the Thunder Club. Use let everyone know that we will do our best to prepare for the social exhibition day. I have an idea to ensure that the whole school can remember the Qingyun Club. There was a burst of excitement in Bohan's speech. In the next few days, all members of Qingyun will devote themselves to preparation work. Bohan decided to focus on creative interaction as the theme and designed a large-scale campus landscape interpretation game to allow participants to explore the campus through interpretation and experience the fun of adventure. This activity is more attractive than ordinary table games and can fully expose the members' strengths. Lin Xiang is responsible for designing questions, Zhang Xiaofeng is responsible for the venue layout, Li Jingyi is responsible for the production of props, and Yu Zhe is responsible for the publicity and venue coordination. On the day of the exhibition, Qingyun High School's playground was very popular. Major social groups took out their talents. The Thunder Club occupied the most eye-catching position and built a cool dance platform, attracting a large number of students to watch. In contrast, the Qingyun Club's position was a bit shabby, with only one table and a few hand-painted posters. Is this Bohan's and their society? It looks so simple. The students who passed by said privately, and occasionally came to see a few curious eyes. Wang Chang walked past several members of the Thunder Club and deliberately laughed loudly. At this level, do you want to compete with us? You're really overestimating yourself. Bohan heard it in his ears, but the tube was not moved at all. He cleared his throat, picked up the simple, self-made speaker, and shouted loudly, "Students! Do you want to experience a different campus adventure? Qingyun will launch a realistic interpretation game to challenge your intelligence and courage, and there are also exquisite small prizes waiting for you to get. The number is limited, first come, first served." This speech indeed attracted the attention of some students, and several curious classmates came to register. After the game started, the participants were divided into small groups and ran around the campus according to the lines, and the atmosphere gradually became more and more intense. As the number of participants increased, more and more visitors were involved, and some even took the initiative to join. This game is so interesting. It's much stronger than watching a dance performance. One participant said excitedly, attracting a crowd of people around him. In front of the Thunder Society, Junjie looked at the crowd in the direction of the Qingyun Society, and his face gradually sinks. He never expected that this inconspicuous small community could attract so much attention. Finally, the Qingyun Association's activities attracted more than 60 students to participate and support, exceeding the requirements of the system mission. At the end of that day, many people took the initiative to ask how to join the Qingyun Club. Ding! Mission completed. Influence plus 20, primary strategy skills unlocked. Current impact, 35. The system's prompt sound made Bohan feel satisfied. He knew that this success not only made Qingyun stand firm, but also made the Thunderbolt realize that they are no longer small groups that can be bullied. After the event, Bohan and Yuza packed up their things at the playground, with smiles on their faces. At this moment, a cold voice came from behind. "It's not bad, Bohan, I didn't expect you to do this." When Bohan looked back, he saw that the person was a tall girl with a long hair shawl and a mysterious look in his eyes. She wore a simple white shirt and denim pants, radiating a different temperament from everyone else. "You are?" Bohan was a little confused. The girl smiled slightly and said, "My name is Xueyan, I'm from the 3rd year of high school. Have you heard of the secret base of the rooftop? I know some threads. If you are interested, you can come to me." After saying that, she gave Bohan a small paper with a place and time on it, and immediately turned away, leaving Bohan and Yuza to talk to each other. Brother Han, who is this person? The secret base of the rooftop? It sounds a little mysterious. Yuza grabbed the head, his face full of curiosity. Bohan looked at the paper in his hand and felt a strong premonition in his heart. He concedes that the snow geese might be the key to his unveiling of the campus. And the secret of the rooftop may be the next step in the rise of Qingyun. The number of words in this chapter, about 3,800 words. The early morning of the campus is as noisy as ever, and the students of Qingyun High School shuttle between the playground and the teaching building, with youthful impetuousness in the air. Bohan stood in front of the campus announcement column, looking at the Qingyun Club event poster that had just been posted, and his mouth was slapped. Since the successful social exhibition day, the influence of the Qingyun Association has increased violently. Many students have taken the initiative to ask about joining. Some classmates who were originally disdainful of them have even begun to change their words and call him Brother Bai. Brother Han, we are quite famous now. Yesterday, a junior high school student said that he wanted to join us in an explanation game. Yuza came out from beside him, holding a bottle of mineral water in his hand, full of his face. Bohan smiled and pointed, yes, the impact has reached 35. The system shows that we are already a medium-sized group in the campus. However, don't be too excited too early, and the Thunder Club will not sit there. When it comes to Thunder, Yuza's face darkened. He said in a low voice, June, that guy, has not been calm since the show day, but I always think he is holding on to his ultimate move. We have to be careful. Bohan nodded and felt a little uneasy. He knew that as a core member of the student association, Junjia was incomparable to the resources and human resources in his hands. If the other party really wants to take ruthless measures, they may not be able to withstand it. At this moment, the system sound in the brain suddenly sounded, ding. The host's influence was improved. Mainline mission update, stand firmly in the campus, resist the threat from the Thunder Society, and maintain the development of the Qingyun Society. Mission duration, 7 days. Mission award, influence plus 30, intermediate leadership unlocking. When Bohan heard the content of the mission, he felt nervous. The system's prompts often mean that the challenge is about to come, and it seems that the Thunder Society's report is indeed not far away. Sure enough, in less than 2 days, the trouble came to the door. At noon this day, Bohan and members of the Qingyun Association gathered in the backyard to prepare for the details of the next event. Zhang Xiaofeng leaned against the tree, playing with his cell phone impatiently. Lin Xiang looked through a mathematical book with his head down, and Li Jingyi silently repaired props. Everyone is here. Today we will mainly talk about the school-wide sports meeting next week. Sports meeting is a good opportunity. We can organize a support group to cheer for students participating in the competition, and then promote the Qingyun Club. Bohan cleared his throat and tried to adjust everyone's impulse. As soon as the voice fell, Zhang Xiaofeng raised his head and mocked him in his language, should you support the team? What's the point? We are not cheerleaders, can this thing improve your influence? Bohan was about to explain, but Yuza couldn't help but interrupt, Shifeng, why do you keep singing reversals? Brother Han wants us to show off more faces. Don't always break the situation if you have any opinions. Seeing that the two of them were about to quarrel again, Bohan hurriedly said, okay, don't argue. Xiaofeng said it makes sense. The support group may not be very attractive. Let's think about other points. At this moment, an uninvited guest came in. Wang Chang walked straight to Bohan with a ruthless smile on his face, holding a few members of the Thunder Society. Yi, Bohan, I heard that Yu Qingyun is quite popular recently. The event has made you happy, Brother Lian Junjia has heard it. Wang Chang's vocals were full of picking words, and he was holding a piece of paper in his hand, shaking it casually. Wang Chang smiled and passed the paper in his hand. It's nothing big, it's just that Brother Junjia thinks your group is too high and not in line with the rules. Therefore, the student will issue a notice requiring you to submit a detailed report on social activities within 3 days, including fund sources, member lists and site usage records. Oh, By the way, if you report unqualified, your group qualifications may be cancelled. As soon as this came out, the faces of the members of the Qingyun Society changed. Zhang Xiaofeng stood up suddenly and said angrily, "What is this breaking the rules? Our community has just started, so why did we record so much? It's clear that this is for us." Yuze was also clenched in his fist. "Wang Zheng, you Thunder will just not see us well, right? There are some people who come directly and are hard. What's the point of playing these tricks?" Wang Chang was proud of his shoulders and his face was full of nostalgia. "This is not a rule I set. The orders of students will be ordered. If you don't accept it, you have to implement them. Anyway, 3 days will not be with you. Let's go, brothers." Seeing Wang Chang leaving, Bohan lowered his head and looked at the notification in his hand. His heart was heavy. He knew very well that this report was a trap. The Qingyun Association has just been established, so how can there be any correct records? The funds are all pocket money that everyone has paid, and the venue is borrowed at a temporary time, so I can't get any similar materials. If you hand over it, you will only be picked out with a lot of faults and give Thunder an excuse to slap them. Brother Han, what should we do? Are we really going to be disbanded? Yuze gritted his teeth, feeling unwilling. Bohan was silent for a moment, and the system suddenly sounded in the brain. Ding. Detect external threats, urgent task release, resolve the trap of the Thunder Society, submit a perfect social report, and maintain the qualifications of the Qingyun Society. Mission deadline, 3 days. Mission award, impact plus 15, crisis treatment skills unlocked. Upon hearing the mission, Bohan's eyes lit up, and the appearance of the system could always give him a line of hope. He took a deep breath and looked up at everyone. Don't panic, this matter is not at the end. Let's think about ways to make the report together. Xiaofeng and Xiang, you can help organize the activity records. Jingyi is responsible for props and photo records of the venue. Yuze and I will work with you to make a detailed financial statement. Let's move separately and fight for it within the deadline. Although everyone was still unsure, looking at Bohan's calm eyes, it was hard to say anything else, so they started to divide the labor. In the next 2 days, all members of the Qingyun Association entered a high-strength working state. Bohan and Yuza almost didn't sleep much, stayed up late to organize the details of each event into documents, and even turned out the invoices for buying snacks during table games as a financial certificate. Lin Xiang discovered his logical advantages and wrote the activity records clearly. Although Zhang Xiaofeng is not good at long-term writing, he also helped to run errands to contact the teachers who borrowed the venue and got several certificates of use of the venue. Li Jingyi took photos of each event with her mobile phone and organized it into a book. However, just the afternoon of the next day when the report was about to be completed, a bigger trouble came to the door. Yuze ran to look for Bohan panting, and his face turned red. Brother Han, it's not good. The U-plate we kept in the report was stolen. What? Bohan was stunned and his brain buzzed. What's going on? Who stole it? Yuze gritted his teeth and cut. I just printed materials in the computer room, inserted the U-disc into the machine, went to the bathroom, and when I came back, I found that I didn't see it. There were a few Thunder Club guys hanging there, they must be fucking. Bohan's heart sank. Thunder would be so cruel. Without a U-disc, all the data has to be redone, and it is simply not as good as submitting reports within the deadline. He clenched his fists and his brain moved quickly. Yuza, don't worry, let's go to the computer room to check the monitoring first, and confirm who got it. At the same time, notify everyone and take out all the backed paper materials and save as much as possible. The two quickly rushed to the computer room and adjusted the monitoring record. Sure enough, they saw Wang Chang passing by with several people. One of them took the trouble and pulled away the U-plate and put it in his pocket. Although the picture is a bit blurry, it can basically be confirmed that it is the human hand of the Thunder Club. This helper is really useless. Yuze stomped his feet in anger. Brother Han, let's confront Junjie directly and force him to hand it over. Bohan was furious and said in a cold manner, it's useless to confront each other, they will definitely not admit it. If we insist on it, we will only make us more passive. We have to use a smart way to make this matter big so that the whole school can know the Thunder Club's tricks. Yuze was stunned. How to? Why? Bohan's eyes flashed. Don't the system have crisis management skills? We use it to counteract. Since the report cannot be submitted, let's make this happen so that the students and all students in the school can see the true face of the Thunder Society. He quickly summoned members of the Qingyun Association and explained the plan in detail. That night, they made a batch of simple billings all night long, with the title Thunder will draw the Qingyun Club information, and the idea will press the small community and attached a monitoring screenshot. The next morning, the bill was filled with the campus's announcement column and corridor. This move really caused a huge wave. Students discussed the issue, and many people expressed dissatisfaction with the Thunder Society's domineering behavior, and some even took the initiative to stand up and support the Qingyun Society. Although Junjie tried to download the comment, the matter was already too big and students would have to intervene in the investigation. Finally, under the attention of the whole school, Junjie was forced to put in pressure, so that Wang Jing handed over the U-board and apologized publicly, calling this a mistake. Although the apology was obvious and unintentional, the report from the Qingyun Society was submitted smoothly, maintaining the social qualifications. Ding! Mission completed. Influence plus 15, crisis treatment skills are unlocked. Current impact, 50. The system's prompt sound made Bohan feel relaxed. He knew that this time not only resolved the crisis, but also made Qingyun Club respect in front of the whole school and truly stood firm. After the crisis, Bohan finally had time to see Xueyan and explore the traces of the secret base of the rooftop. That evening, he followed the location and time on the paper and came to an old banyan tree in the backyard of the campus. Xueyan was already waiting there, wearing a simple sports outfit, and a faint smile on her face. "You're coming very well." Xueyan glanced at him, speaking coldly. "I thought you were busy with social affairs and didn't care about the words of the rooftop." Bohan slammed and said seriously, "I have always wanted to know the secret of the rooftop. Although Qingyun will stand firm now, I know that the real challenge is still behind. If there is something that can change the campus pattern in the rooftop, I must figure it out." The snow geese clicked ahead, and no longer quit, and carried Bohan over the backyard and came to a hidden corner behind the teaching building. There is an inconspicuous iron door here, full of iron lenses, as if no one has moved for many years. Xueyan took out an old key from her pocket and inserted it into the lock hole. With a sound of click, the door opened quietly, revealing a narrow staircase leading to the rooftop. "This is the entrance to the secret base," Xueyan said in a low voice. "However, before entering, I want to remind you that the things inside may change your understanding of Qingyun High School. Are you ready?" Bohan's heart beat faster and he didn't feel hesitant. "I'm ready." The two of them walked up the stairs, and the air was filled with a scent of old. When he arrived at the rooftop, Bohan found that it was not as mysterious as mentioned. It was just an ordinary empty platform with some old tables, chairs, and miscellaneous objects. However, in a corner of the rooftop, there is a small room sealed by a chain, with a line of vague words engraved on the door: "The flame of freedom will never be extinguished." Xueyan opened the chain with a key and pushed the door in. The light in the room was dim, the wall was covered with old photos and handwritten notes, and a yellow diary was also placed on the table. Bohan picked up the diary and flipped the first page, which wrote a passage: "We are the first rebels at Qingyun High School, opposing social bullying and pressure. We created the Flame Club and hope to use our own strength to change the campus. This is our base and our hope." Bohan flipped through the page and found that the diary recorded the history of resistance from a group of students many years ago. They once tried to break the hegemony of the campus community at that time, but they were eventually crushed and the base was blocked, becoming a legend. The last page of the diary reads, "If anyone sees this diary, remember that the flame of freedom has never faded. Pick up our flag and continue the battle." After reading the diary, Bohan felt excited. He never expected that the secret base of the rooftop actually hid such a history, a story of a group of students fighting to resist the pressure. This made him even more determined. Qingyun would not only become the strongest social group in the campus, but also really change the rules of this land. Xueyan looked at his expression and said lightly, "Now you understand that the secret of the rooftop is not something hidden, but the will of the predecessors. Their failure tells us that it is not enough to rely on heat and blood. You need stronger strength and wisdom to complete their unfinished career." Bohan pointed and clenched his fist. "I will do it. The green flame will take this group of flames and make it burn more vigorously." Xueyan smiled slightly and didn't say anything else, but just gave him an old map, which marked some secret places in the campus, which might be the thread left by the Flame Society. "These things may help you. What's next depends on yourself." After leaving the rooftop, Bohan returned to the dormitory and couldn't calm down for a long time. The discovery of the rooftop not only allowed him to see the other side of the campus, but also made him realize that the pressure of Junjie and the Thunder Society is just an appearance, and the real problem lies in the deep-rooted campus culture. He knew that to become a campus legend, it would be not enough to just hit Junjie, and he had to change the entire Qingyun High School pattern. At the same time, the system's voice sounded again, ding. The host discovered the secret base of the rooftop. The mainline mission was updated, inheriting the will of the Flame Society, leading the Qingyun Society to become the strongest social group in the campus, and changing the pressure culture of the campus. Mission Award, Influence plus 50, Unlocking of Advanced Static Skills. Upon hearing the mission, Bohan's eyes flashed with certainty. He knew that the road ahead would be even more difficult. Junjie would not let them go easily, and the secret of the rooftop could also bring new challenges. But no matter what, he is no longer the wasteland boy who will only be low. He has the support of the Green Flame Society, Yuze, and the members, and the help of the system, which is enough to face all the winds. The night was getting colder, and Bohan stood in front of the dormitory window, looking at the rooftop away, and a blazing flames ignited in his heart. He whispered, "The flame of freedom will never be extinguished. Junjie, our account has not been calculated yet." The number of words in this chapter, about 3,750 words. The night is covered with Qingyun High School, and the lights in the campus are emitting dim lights. The rooftops far away look particularly quiet under the moonlight. Bohan stood in front of the dormitory window, holding the yellow diary in his hand tightly, and a group of flames burned in his heart. Since unveiling the history of Flame Society, he has even set his goal not only to make the Green Flame Society the strongest community in the campus, but also to change the deeply rooted pressure culture in this land. Over the past few days, the influence of the Qingyun Association has continued to rise, and the value displayed by the system has exceeded 80, becoming the most popular existence in the campus. From the initial table games to the campus to the tip-off, Bohan and his team won the support of students with their actions. Some people who were originally standing next to the Thunder Club also began to move, and several small groups even proposed to cooperate with the Qingyun Club. However, Bohan knew that this rapid rise would inevitably lead to Junjie's final rebellion. As a core member of the Student Association, Junjie has been in charge of the Thunder Association for many years and will never be willing to let his dominance be taken away by a waste firewood. Sure enough, after a few days, a storm approached quietly. At noon this day, Bohan and Yuze were discussing the upcoming campus cultural event with their members in the backyard, intending to take this opportunity to fully establish the status of the Qingyun Society. Zhang Xiaofeng leaned on the tree as always, and his language was impatient. "Brother Han, what are we doing in the cultural festival? Is it a game again? It's not new to the old trick." Lin Xiang pushed the lens and answered, "I think I can do something more in-depth, such as a campus history exhibition and digging out the old stories of Qingyun High School, which should be attractive." Li Jingyi lowered her head and said lightly, "I can make some exhibition models. If I can put the history of the rooftop, it will definitely be of issue." After hearing the head of rooftop, Bohan felt a little moved. He was about to say something, when Yuze suddenly ran over and said, "Brother Han, it's not good. The students will issue an announcement saying that they will hold a school-wide society challenge competition. Each group must participate, and the awarded group will be disqualified." "What? Cancel the qualification?" Zhang Xiaofeng stood up suddenly and said angrily, "This is clearly for us. The Thunder will definitely want to take this opportunity to kick us out." Bohan raised his eyebrows and asked in a deep voice, "What did it say in the announcement? What is the content of the competition?" Yuzhe gritted his teeth and clenched. "The competition is divided into 3 rounds. The first is the team's joint mission, the second is the creative display, and the third is the whole school voting. Junjia's guy is a student from the student association, so he must have arranged everything long ago. If we go, the Qingyun association will be over." At this moment, the sound of the system echoed in Bohan's brain. Ding! I detected a major threat, and the ultimate mission was released. The leader of the Qingyun Club defeated the Thunder in the social challenge competition, becoming the most influential group of Qingyun High School, and the truth about the rooftop secret base was made public, changing the school culture. Mission period, 5 days. Mission award, influence plus 50, the ultimate imperial skills were unlocked, and the system upgrade was completed. Upon hearing the mission, Bohan's eyes flashed with certainty. He knew that this was the last battle with Junji and the key moment when he completed the Flame Club Yoshima. He took a deep breath and looked at everyone. "Don't panic, this competition is a challenge and a chance for us. If the Thunder Club wants to crush us, we insist on standing up and letting the whole school see the strength of the Qingyun Club." Yuzhe clenched his fists tightly, full of his face to fight. "Yes. Brother Han, tell me, what should we do?" Bohan smiled slightly and said calmly, "The first step is that we must unite our team and prepare for the best of every festival. Xiaofeng, the team will be in charge of you and Yuzhe. The challenge will definitely have physical projects, and you are responsible for leading the team. Ziyang, creatively show you to design, we have to come up with points that can shock the whole school. Jingyi, the display props and the layout of the venue depends on you. I will contact some students who support us to compete for the advantages of the voting festival." Everyone heard that although there was still pressure in their hearts, they still responded to Bohan's confident eyes. In the next few days, all members of the Qingyun Association entered the preparation state, and everyone was doing their best for the challenge. On the day of the challenge, Qingyun High School was crowded with people, and almost all students came to visit. The Student Association built a huge stage in the center. Junjia stood on the stage to host the stage, with a confident smile on his face, as if he was in control of everything. The members of the Thunder Society were wearing uniform black clothes and stood aside with a strong temper, attracting many discussions from students. Looking at this battle, the Thunder Club is so heartbroken that it wants to win. A student said in a low voice. Qingyun Club has been quite popular recently, but compared with Thunder Club, it's still a little worse, right? Another person answered, with doubts in his language. Bohan stood on the other side with members of the Qingyun Society. Although there were not many people, everyone held their heads and chests, with their eyes full of dissatisfaction. Yuzhe said to Bohan in a low voice, "Brother Han, Junjia looks confident, we have to be careful that they are playing tricks." Bohan pointed and pressed a low voice, "Don't worry, the system has the ultimate control skills, and the key moment can help us to find out. Remember, no matter what, we have to join forces, and don't give the other party a chance to take advantage of it." The competition began soon, and the first ring was the team's joint mission, requiring each group to complete a series of obstacle challenges within the campus, including climbing, moving heavy objects and decorating. The Thunder will take the lead from the beginning by relying on the crowd and physical strength advantages. Their members cooperated tacitly and quickly passed the first few links. Although Qingyun will have few people, Zhang Xiaofeng and Yuzhe's physical strength and Lin Xiang's brain will make them follow smoothly. Especially when explaining the link, Lin Xiang saw through the ropes at a glance and led the team to catch up with the progress of the Thunder Society. However, just in the last transportation mission, an accident happened. The prop box that Qingyun would be responsible for transporting suddenly fell apart, and the things inside were scattered all over the ground, causing a lot of time. It seems that Qingyun will not work. Even a box can't be handled. Wang Chang stood in the Thunder Party and laughed loudly, which caused laughter around him. Yuzhe gritted his teeth, but Bohan quickly calmed down. Don't pay attention to them, Qingyi. Check the box to see if it can be repaired. Xiaofeng and Yuzhe, let's pick things together and don't waste time. Under Bohan's guidance, Qingyan would quickly adjust. Although he fell a little behind, he finally completed the task and entered the second circle with only a slight disadvantage. The second ring is a creative display, which is the strength of the Qingyun society. Lin Xiang designed a performance with the theme of campus freedom to combine the understanding of the game and the scene interaction, allowing the audience to participate in it and experience the process of resisting pressure. During the performance, members of the Qingyun Club used simple props and language to tell a story about group formation and courage. The atmosphere was pushed to a climax, and many students even took the initiative to participate on the platform. This performance is so interesting. Qingyun will really play. A audience member said excitedly, attracting a lot of music around him. The Counter Thunder, although their display was so beautiful, invited off-campus professional teams to perform street dance. It lacked interaction and the audience's response was far inferior to the Qingyun Club. Junjie stood on the side of the dance platform, his face becoming more and more difficult to watch. He said to Wang Chang in a low voice, "This guy really has two opportunities to help, but we must not be able to pass the voting session." The third ring is the school-wide voting, and students will issue votes to allow all students to vote for the society they support. This is the most important ring and Junjie's last trump card. He used the influence of the student club long before the game, secretly attracted a lot of people, and even threatened some small groups that had to vote for the Thunder Club. After the voting began, the number of votes for the Thunder Society rose rapidly. Although the Qingyun Society also has many supporters, it is clearly behind. Yuzhe looked at the vote count and stomped his feet in a hurry. "Brother Han, what should I do? Junjie must have twitched his feet, and our votes can't catch up at all." Bohan's heart was also a little nervous, but it was still cold on the surface. He knew that the number of hard votes was too late, and he had to use other methods to reverse the situation. At this moment, the system sounded, "Ding." "Use." Bohan recited silently in his heart without hesitation. Instantly, he felt a warm current surge from the bottom of his heart, and countless strategies appeared in the sea of brains, and his voice became more stable and powerful. He walked to the center of the stage, picked up the McGraphic style, and said loudly to the students of the school, "Students, Qingyun will come to this day, not by the large number of people or the background, but by the group and efforts of every member. We are not afraid of challenges or failures, because we believe that as long as we have courage, everyone can change their destiny. Today, I want to tell you a secret, a truth about Qingyun High School, and a story about resistance and freedom." He said. He raised the diary he brought back from the rooftop, and his voice was filled with an incomparable determination. "Many years ago, a group of students who resisted the pressure of the campus and created the Flame Club, leaving their base and while on the rooftop. Their mouth was flame of freedom, never extinguished. Although they failed, their spirit never disappeared. Today, the Qingyun Club has inherited this group of flames. We not only want to become the strongest group, but also let everyone pursue their dreams freely in this campus." This conversation was astonished as the sky was shocked. The students on the scene were stunned at first, and immediately burst into hot voices and discussions. Many people were infected by Bohan's sincerity and passion, and some even flashed light. It turns out that the rooftop is true. Qingyun Hui is so awesome. He dares to make this happen. Junjie stood aside, his face was blue and weak, and he was powerless. Because Bohan's speech not only ignited the enthusiasm of the students, but also further exposed the domineering image of the Thunder Society. More students began to change their minds and voted for the Qingyun Club. Finally, the voting result came out, and Qingyun defeated the Thunder with a slight advantage, becoming the champion of the challenge. The sound of deafening cries broke out in the whole audience. Yuzhe hugged Bohan excitedly, Zhang Xiaofeng also smiled rarely, Lin Xiang and Li Jingyi smiled at each other, their eyes filled with relief. Ding! The ultimate mission is completed. Influence plus 50, the ultimate integrity skill is unlocked, the system upgrade is completed. Current influence, 1:30, Qingyun will officially become the most influential group in Qingyun High School. The sound of the system rose in Bohan's brain, making him feel satisfied. Junjie stood beside the dance platform, staring at all this with a deep face, and finally snorted coldly, leaving with the people from the Thunder Society. He knew that he had already achieved the final victory, not only the competition, but also the hearts of the people. After the challenge, the Qingyun Club reached its peak and became the most deserving legendary society at Qingyun High School. Bohan did not stop, and he decided to open the rooftop secret base so that all students in the school could maintain this history together. Under his call, the Student Association finally agreed to transform the rooftop into a campus memorial site for everyone to visit and learn the story of the Flame Society. A week later, the rooftop was officially opened, and many students came here to read the notes and photos on the wall and feel the history of resistance and pressure. Bohan stood in a corner of the rooftop, looking at the crowds coming, and felt a sense of accomplishment. He knew that this was not only a tribute to the Flame Club, but also an innovation to the campus culture. Pressure and bullying will no longer have a foothold. Brother Han, we really did it. Yuzhe stood beside him, sighing with his face. Who could have thought that two people on the side could have come to where they are today? Bohan smiled and patted his shoulder. It's not us, it's all of us. Without you, without Xiaofeng, Xiang and Jingyi, Qingyun would not be able to reach today. I just ignited this group of fire, but it's up to everyone. Yuzhe smiled and his eyes flashed. What should we do next? We have become a campus legend. What else do we have? Bohan looked at the campus far away and said lightly, there are still many goals. Qingyun cannot be burned only in Qingyun High School. We must spread this group of free flames farther away so that more people know that no matter how ordinary people, as long as the group is combined, they can change their fate. At this time, Zhang Xiaofeng, Lin Xiang and Li Jingyi walked over, and the 5 people stood on the rooftop, looking shoulder to shoulder at the sunset. The sunlight reflected a warm golden color on them. Bohan recalled the days when he had lowered his head and shrank his shoulders. At that time, he never thought that he could become the leader who led everyone forward. But now, he has not only changed his fate, but also changed the entire campus. The flame of freedom will never be extinguished. Bohan read this sentence in a low voice, and a confident smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. He knew that the road ahead was still long, but no matter what challenges he encountered, he would not retreat. Because he is no longer the wasteland boy, but the new legend of Qingyun High School, a true leader. The number of words in this chapter, about 3,700 words.